That gives you pause, doesn't it? My God, this is like, every one of us is touched by this. You may not ask the price of the thing if in fact you have no intention at all of buying it from that person. What is the oppression on Abedvarim? You raise the hopes of the seller that he may have a potential sale going, but you came in the store already knowing that you're not buying. You just wanted to find out how much yours is worth, but you have exactly in your pocket what he has in his window. Right? Say, oh, look at that vase. Look at that Yadro piece. Remember we bought that 25 years ago at my Oracle? Oh, how much do you want for that? $15,000. Thank you, sir. And out the door, the guy lost another sale, and you're feeling great because you only paid $1.95. So you're feeling good. The guy had a bad day. We are not permitted to falsely raise the hopes of another person in anticipation of a transaction, which in fact from the beginning never would happen. That's Jewish business ethics, is called. You want to call it ethical? It's not ethical. It's halacha. It's Torah. Another example. Go to Maimonides now. It's one of the new stuff. This is new stuff. 1135 to 1205 of the Common Era. It's relatively, he's a teenager. One must not sell to a heathen meat of an animal not slaughtered according to ritual law, under the impression that it is meat from an animal slaughtered according to Jewish law, even though to the heathen the two are the same. Isn't that interesting? Now here is a non-Jew who doesn't care whether the thing was run over, shot, or shechted by a shofet. You may not tell him you're selling him kosher meat if the meat is not kosher, even though it doesn't make any difference to him. And according to Maimonides and some of our teachers, this is on the Abedvarim. I'm offering to sell you a thing, and it's not what you think you're getting. And I am not permitted to make an assumption of what's important to you, what's not important to you, as we make a transaction. This is not called ethics in business law, by the way, in Judaism. It's called Torah. How about another one, Maimonides, right? That we're on a Maimonides kick, also known as Rambam. Oral deception is more heinous than monetary fraud because restoration is possible in the latter, while no restoration is possible in the former. And the latter concerns one's money, but the former affects his person. You hear it? Loud and clear. This is not ethical. This is Torah. Jews are bidden to behave in this manner. Okay. What do I have? I have to read you another Aaron Levine piece. A guy from New York. My buddy. I've never met him yet. Hope he's still alive. The spectrum of circumstances covered by the prohibition of offering ill-suited advice has important implications for everyday operation of business activities. Except in instances where his expertise and discretion are explicitly relied upon, the seller should not steer his customer into a particular price range, product line, or style without being conversant with the customer's particular circumstances and needs. The temptation to unload a slow-moving item on a naive customer must be overcome in light of infringement of the prohibition of offering ill-suited advice. You hear it? This is not Jewish business ethics. This is Torah. You're not going to find this, by the way, I don't think, in the law codes of the state of Ohio, or even in the municipal code of the city of Cleveland. In fact, I don't know where you can find it, but it's in Torah. And it is part and parcel of this magnificent Jewish tapestry called Torah and business. Okay, I said I would pause for a moment for a question or two, and then I want to give a couple more examples to give you, make you crazy with the examples, completely aggravate you, and then you'll be able to have a kiddush afterwards. We have refreshments. Yes, go ahead. Ask.
In the last week's parsha, it stated that that which is dishonest is abhorrent to me. How can a Torah-observant rabbis, such as the Latvian rabbis and the Israeli rabbis, do such things and say that they're observant?
Did everybody hear Marty's question? The Torah reading of last week talks about Avel. You're absolutely right. That you do these acts, these wrong acts, are considered abhorrent to God. How, Marty says, can rabbis, it is a question that has to be asked. And we were all witness to the Chilul Hashem of a rabbi with payas and the whole thing, and what? And the handcuffs, right? And money laundering. And oh my God, you could die from looking at it, right? We're all there. And you ask those kind of questions. You're right to ask the question. And the question is, or the response I think that should be made is, that every human being is susceptible to doing wrong acts. That's why we do Teshuvah for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, thank God. It's coming up soon. We all need it. The length of payas, the length of the beard, the blackness of the hat are no guarantees that the actor under the payas, beard, and hat is acting always and consistently in accord with Torah. The great thing, I think, is, one of the great things in all of this is, that fellow Jews are able to see a behavior and to say that behavior is contrary to Torah. To be able to say this is a Chilul Hashem, this is a profanation of God's essence, is already speaks well for the community, which is looking at that behavior and saying we repudiate it. That's correct. So it shocks us because why? Marty, in part, underlying your observation, which millions make, you're not the only one to do it, is an assumption that religious people are consistently religious. I am here to announce to you that consistency is not an absolute requirement of any attachment to Torah. It would be nice, but Judaism does not require consistency. It requires behavior. It recognizes that we are all subject to doing wrong. And you saw that on television like I did, Marty, that's right. It is repulsive, and it is wrong, and we are all capable of doing it, and we have Rosh Hashanah, and we have Yom Kippur, which is not sufficient, by the way, because they only work if you make up with the people that you offended, as you well know. And that's my point. And it's a serious point. It goes way beyond what we're doing tonight. I just have to ponder a little bit more with you. My sense of American society is that there is a growing, strong repudiation of religion because there are so many instances in which we see people of religion doing wrong things. Am I making sense? And it gets in the papers and on news and the television all the time. People of religion, Jew or Gentile, doesn't matter anymore, who are doing terrible things and who are people of religion. And one of the responses, I think, that people have largely in our country, just talk about our country, is that if that person were truly religious, she would not do that. My response is you can be truly religious and do that because people do wrong things. And that a meritorious act in being Jewish is not erased by doing an unmeritorious act. Each mitzvah has its own value. Many of you know, you've heard this from me 100 years already. This is Jewish, this is not Gentile. 100% exquisite Jewish. We are not bidden to be flawless. We are required by God to try. 613 mitzvot, only half of which we can still do because the temple is not in existence. 300 and some mitzvot. The doing of one mitzvah or the not doing of one mitzvah does not negate the doing of any more. What we wish to see is that there should not be Chilul Hashem, either with a beard and payas or not, but that we have to remind ourselves that Torah is not canceled because of the propensity of human beings to violate it.